Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariya or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 3, Book 46, number 727. Narrated by Abu Musa. The Prophet said, "The Mamluk, slave, who worships his Lord in a perfect manner, and is dutiful, sincere and obedient to his Sayyid, master, will get a double reward." Volume 3, Book 46, number 728. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, "You should not say, 'Feed your Lord, Rabaka,' 'Help your Lord in performing ablution,' or 'Give water to your Lord,' but should say, 'My Master,' e.g. feed your Master instead of Lord etc., 'Sayyidai,' or 'My Guardian,' Mawlai, and one should not say, 'My slave, Abdi,' or 'My girl slave, Amati,' but should say, 'My lad, Fatai,' 'My lass, Fatati,' and 'My boy, Gulami." Volume 3, Book 46, number 729. Narrated by Ibn Umar. The Prophet said, "If one manumits his share of a common slave, abd, and he has money sufficient to free the remaining portion of the price of the slave, justly estimated, then he should free the slave completely by paying the rest of his price. Otherwise the slave is freed partly." Volume 3, Book 46, number 730. Narrated by Abdullah. Allah's Apostle said, "Every one of you is a guardian and is responsible for his charges. The ruler who has authority over people is a guardian and is responsible for them. A man is a guardian of his family and is responsible for them. A woman is a guardian of her husband's house and children and is responsible for them. A slave, Abu, is a guardian of his master's property and is responsible for it. So all of you are guardians and are responsible for your charges." Volume 3, Book 46, number 731. Narrated by Abu Hurairah and Zayd bin Khalid. The Prophet said, "If a slave girl, Amma, commits illegal sexual intercourse, scourge her. If she does it again, scourge her again. If she repeats it, scourge her again." The narrator added that on the third or the fourth offense, the Prophet said, "Sell her even for a hair rope." Volume 3, Book 46, number 732. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, "When your servant brings your meals to you, then if he does not let him sit and share the meals, then he should at least give him a mouthful or 2 mouthfuls of that meal or a meal or 2 meals, as he has prepared it." Volume 3, Book 46, number 733. Narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. That he heard Allah's Apostle saying, "Every one of you is a guardian and is responsible for his charge. The ruler is a guardian and is responsible for his subjects. The man is a guardian in his family and responsible for his charges. A woman is a guardian of her husband's house and responsible for her charges. And the servant is a guardian of his master's property and is responsible for his charge." I definitely heard the above from the Prophet and think that the Prophet also said, "A man is a guardian of his father's property and responsible for his charges. So every one of you is a guardian and responsible for his charges." Volume 3, Book 46, number 734. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, "If somebody fights, or beats somebody, then he should avoid the face." Volume 3, Book 46, number 735. Narrated by Urwa. That Aisha told him that Barira came to seek her help in her writing of emancipation, for a certain sum, and that time she had not paid anything of it. Aisha said to her, "Go back to your masters, and if they agree that I will pay the amount of your writing of emancipation and get your wallah, I will do so." Barira informed her masters of that, but they refused and said, "If she, i.e., Aisha, is seeking Allah's reward, then she can do so, but your wallah will be for us." Aisha mentioned that to Allah's apostle, who said to her, "Buy and manumit her, as the wallah is for the liberator." Allah's apostle then got up and said, "What about the people who stipulate conditions which are not present in Allah's laws? Whoever imposes conditions which are not present in Allah's laws, then those conditions will be invalid, even if he imposed these conditions 100 times. Allah's conditions, laws, are the truth and are more solid." Volume 3, Book 46, number 736. Narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. Aisha wanted to buy a slave girl in order to manumit her. The girl's masters stipulated that her wallah would be for them. Allah's apostle said to Aisha, "What they stipulate should not stop you, for the wallah is for the liberator." Volume 3, Book 46, number 737. Narrated by Aisha. Buraira came to Aisha and said, "I have made a contract of emancipation with my masters for 9 uqiyas of gold, to be paid in yearly installments. Therefore, I seek your help." Aisha said, "If your masters agree, I will pay them the sum at once and free you on condition that your wallah will be for me." Buraira went to her masters, but they refused that offer. She came back and said, "I presented to them the offer, but they refused, unless the wallah was for them." Allah's apostle heard of that and asked me about it, and I told him about it. On that he said, "Buy and manumit her and stipulate that the wallah should be for you, as wallah is for the liberator." Aisha added, Allah's apostle then got up amongst the people, glorified and praised Allah, and said, "Then after, what about some people who impose conditions which are not present in Allah's laws? So, any condition which is not present in Allah's laws is invalid, even if they were 100 conditions. Allah's ordinance is the truth, and Allah's condition is stronger and more solid. Why do some men from you say, 'Oh so and so, manumit the slave, but the wallah will be for me'? Verily, the wallah is for the liberator." Volume 3, Book 46, number 738. Narrated by Amra bint Abdurrahman. Buraira went to Aisha, the mother of the faithful believers, to seek her help in her emancipation. Aisha said to her, "If your masters agree, I will pay them your price in a lump sum and manumit you." Buraira mentioned that offer to her masters, but they refused to sell her unless the wallah was for them. Aisha told Allah's apostle about it. He said, "Buy and manumit her as the wallah is for the liberator." Volume 3, Book 46, number 739. Narrated by Abdul Wahid bin Ayman. I went to Aisha and said, "I was the slave of Utbah bin Abu Lahab. Utbah died and his sons became my masters, who sold me to Ibn Abu Amra, who manumitted me. The sons of Utbah stipulated that my wallah should be for them." Aisha said, "Buraira came to me and she was given the writing of emancipation by her masters. And she asked me to buy and manumit her. I agreed to it, but Buraira told me that her masters would not sell her unless her wallah was for them." Aisha said, "I am not in need of that." When the Prophet heard that, or he was told about it, he asked Aisha about it. Aisha mentioned what Buraira had told her. The Prophet said, "Buy and manumit her and let them stipulate whatever they like." So, Aisha bought and manumitted her, and her masters stipulated that her wallah should be for them. The Prophet said, "The wallah will be for the liberator even if they stipulated 100 conditions."